Yeah. Do you really mean it? That I love your playing. Thank you. Your style and thanks. Thank you. So we are going to get started in just a minute, but I need a few brave souls to join us. The hope is for tonight that we can actually be together in the round. So I want to invite a handful of people, stand up and come a little bit closer and actually join us here on the bima. And we're only going to ask you to read 30 verses of Torah. So not to worry, but come and join us. We're deliberate in trying to create a space where we can be close by to one another. And so come on up. I'm asking for, let's see, I need 5 brave souls. Ready? 5. Going once. Yes, thank you. Come on up. Go ahead and join one of the seats over there. Need another couple of, I promise we won't. Yeah, please come on up. We have this front circle here. I totally get it. It's Friday. Tired. I promise we won't ask you to do too much Talmud, too much Torah. Right, that's tomorrow. You're right, Odette. Yeah. So come on up. We still need a handful more volunteers. Come on up. Whoever would like to. I'm not going to start calling names. Don't make me call names. Thank you, Odette. All right. The idea is it's actually really powerful to be able to hear one another's voices. Come on up. And I'm going to apologize right now for giving you my back as it were. But, yeah. Should I do a welcome? Well, some of us may have noticed that tonight looks a little bit different. And it's not because I'm wearing the gray suit instead of the blue suit. It's HaNeshema Shabbat. This is the Shabbat where we decided every second Shabbat we are going to try to get outside the box a little bit. I'm going to try to do some different things, some new melodies. And this particular Shabbat, we have decided that we are going to turn towards one another. Kol HaNeshema, with our entire soul, our entire voices. That is the way that we bring in Shabbat. It's quite simply not the same without that. And so, when we are in the round, we are able to hear each other. In fact, for those of us who are here in the center here, we are able to hear your voices in a way that we can't, but the hope is also that we're able to hear one another's voices. So as we have our evening together, don't be afraid to really sing it out, you know. This Shabbat, we have a special Shabbat as well in that we are marking, is that better? Marking Refugee Shabbat. Knowing well that in our community, each and every year we sit around the table at Passover and say, not just that we read our stories, but we recognize that we ourselves were slaves and refugees, and each person in this world deserves a place to call home. And so in this space where we draw inspiration, in this space where we stop and reflect on the very best way to live our lives, we very clearly talk about the need for our work in helping open the gates of our country, the United States, to those who need a home. Throughout our service, we'll have a couple of readings, a couple of themes that will touch on this, and afterwards, it is not to be missed. We're going to hear from Joe Goldman. I saw you earlier. Thank you for being here. Thank you, Joe. Thank you for being here from Hyas. And Trip Oldfield. I saw you as well, Trip. Thank you. Yeah. Two organizations, and Trip with JFCS here in Long Beach. And Jennifer as well. Thank you for being here, Jennifer. We have two organizations in Long Beach, as well as the National Council of Jewish Women. I'm gonna end up missing one of the groups that we are a part of, the Social Action Committee as well. We have our Vice President of Social Action and our chair of our Social Action Committee are here. We're going to hear from the members of our community that we are hoping to open our arms, open our hearts to, and hear your stories. Because I genuinely believe that there are two parts of finding a place that is home. One is physical safety, making sure that your needs are met. Another is knowing that you're able to talk with people. You're able to be in a community, whether it's here, whether it's the greater community, whatever it is, that you know that people are hearing your story and being here with you. There are physical needs. There's also spiritual and emotional needs. Our hope is to meet some of those together. For now, we're going to begin our holiday of Shabbat, reaching out and reminding ourselves for the need for light in this evening. And so I'd like to invite us to light our Shabbat candles to start this holiday of Shabbat with the reminder that the whole goal of being together is simply to find the warmth and joy, the brightness of one another's company.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kedeshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lehadlik ner, lehadlik מדליק נר של שבת.
Shabbat shalom,
Shabbat
Shabbat shalom, everyone. We have a special treat this evening as well, in that we are going to bring in new melodies, and our melodies are going to be brought in with, we have a couple of musicians up here, and so I want to first say thank you to Paul, who wears many kippot, as it were, at Temple Israel, for helping us with the sound this evening. Whenever you hear Cantor Cooper or myself, it is most likely because of Paul. Thank you, Paul. Yeah, and if you don't hear us, I think I'm hearing from Paul, if you don't hear us, then it's not Paul. And as well, a welcome and a thank you to David Jacobson for bringing his powerful music, which you don't have to boo when you hear David's name. But for those of us who were here on Saturday, you got a little bit of a taste of what David is able to play. The beautiful, beautiful, and handsome, and charming, and right. David, thank you for playing. And Sherry, what a gift to have you with us, bringing in the entire spectrum of harmony with your skill. Now, you are the kind of person who, are just as comfortable playing, classical as jazz, and bringing in some Brad Meldau, and we'll get all of that gift tonight. It is a real treat to have Sherry playing music with us this evening. So, without further ado, let's dive into our melodies, our music. We're going to continue with Ma Yafeh Hayom, calling out what a beautiful day this is to share together. Page 10.
מה יפה היום, שבת שלום. מה יפה היום, שבת שלום. שבת, שבת שלום, שבת. Shabbat shalom, Shabbat. Shabbat shalom, Shabbat. Shabbat shalom, ma yafeh hayom. Shabbat shalom, ma yafeh hayom. Shabbat shalom, Shabbat, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat. Shabbat shalom, Shabbat. Shabbat shalom, Shabbat. Shabbat shalom.
Page 7. Where has this week vanished? Is it lost forever, and will I ever recover anything from it? The joy of life and the unexpected victory, the realized hope, the task accomplished. Will I ever be able to banish the memory of pain and the sting of defeat, or the heaviness of boredom? On this day, let me keep for a while what must drift away. On this day, let me be free of the burdens that must return. on this day, Shabbat, abide. So help me to withdraw for a while from the flight of time and contain the retreat of the hours, the days from the grasp of frantic daily life. I ask, let me learn to pause, if only for this day, and let me find peace on this day. Let me enter into a quiet world this day. Shabbat, abide. Page 12.
Sing a song, let the world, the whole world sing a song. Raise your voice, let the whole world rejoice, 'cause we're all just singing a new song.
For our next prayer, we're going to actually welcome Shabbat as if she were here to join us. Rituals are always meant to help us feel and act out a feeling that we might have. And so Shabbat arrives at some point in the evening, and so why not turn and actually welcome it into the room? When we get to the final verse of our prayer, not yet, but I'm going to invite us to rise and to turn to the door through which we entered our sanctuary. The idea is we're going to welcome in Shabbat here and today, each and every one of us. Let's continue, page 20.
Lecha dodi likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi, lecha dodi. Shamor v'zachor b'dibur echad, hishmiyanu el hamiuchad, Adonai echad u'shemo echad, l'shem b'l tiferet v'litilah. דברי, כבוד אדוני עלייך נגלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. Please rise and face the door to welcome in our Sabbath bride. בואי ושלום עטרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובצהלה, תוך אמוני ים סגולה. בואי חלה, בואי חלה, לך שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה.
Please be seated. We have the words of the poet Yehud Amichai that I felt spoke to this moment, and so I wanted to share part of a poem of his called My Parents' Migration. And my parents' migration has not yet calmed in me. My blood goes on shaking at its walls as the bowl after it is set down. And my parents' migration has not calmed in me winds continually over stones. Earth forgets the footsteps of those who walk. And awful fate, stumps of talk after midnight, an achievement, a retreat. Night reminds and day forgets. My eyes, which have looked a long time into a vast desert, are a little calmed. One woman, the rules of a game nobody had ever completely explained, the laws of pain and weight. Even now, my heart makes only a bare living with its daily love, my parents in their migration on the crossroads, where I am forever orphaned, too young to die, too old to play. The wariness of the manor, the emptiness of the quarry, archaeology of the future, museums of what is still to happen, and my parents' migration is not yet calmed in me. And from bitter peoples I learned better languages for my silence among the houses which are always like ships. Already in my veins, my tendons are a tangle of ropes I will never undo. Finally, my own ending, an end to my parents' migration. We continue with the words of Baruch Hu, a calling to one another, a calling to community. And so I invite us to turn to page 28 of our prayer books, and please rise in body or in spirit.
Lai 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 lai. Yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai 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 lai. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach, HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. HaMevorach, HaMevorach le'olam va'ed.
Page 30. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bidvaro ma'ariv aravim, b'chochma poteach she'arim, uvitvona mishaneh itim, umachalif et hazmanim, umisader et hakochamim, b'mishmerotem berakia kirtzono, borei yom v'layla, golel or mipnei choshech, v'choshech mipnei or, uma'avir yom umevi layla, uma'avdil ben yom uvein layla, Adonai Tzebaot Shemo, El Chai V'Kayam, Tamid Yimloch Aleinu Leolam Va'ed, Baruch Atah Adonai, Ham'ariv, Aravim. Page 32.
Ahavat Olam, Beit Yisrael, Amcha Havta, Amcha Havta. Torah u'mitzvot, Chukim u'mishpatim, Otanu limadeta. Al kein Adonai Eloheinu b'shochtenu, v'kumenu na'asiyach bechukecha, v'nismach b'divrei Toratecha, v'mitzvotecha le'olam va'ed, ki hem chayenu, ve'orech yameinu, uvahem negei yomam v'layla, negei yomam v'layla. Ve'ahavat ha'al tasir, mimenu le'olamim, Baruch atah Adonai, ohev amo Yisrael, ohev amo Yisrael. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed.
Please be seated.
Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha bechol levavcha uvechol nafshecha uvechol meudecha vechayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi metzavecha hayom al levavecha veshinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam b'shivtecha b'veitecha uvlechtecha v'derech uv'shochbecha uv'kumecha ukshartam leot al yadecha v'chayu letotafot bein einecha uchtavtam al mezuzot beitecha uvisharecha leman tizkeru ועשיתם את כל מצוותי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם אמת.
Continue with Micha Mocha on page 40.
Who is like you? Who is like you? Who is like you, Adonai? Who is like you? Majestic in holiness, awesome in splendor, working wonders. Your children witnessed your sovereignty. The sea splitting before Moses and Miriam. This is our God, they cried. This is our God. Adonai shall reign forever and ever. Who is like you? Who is like you? Who is like you, Adonai?
Well, many years ago, there was a country that founded itself on the idea that everyone needs a home. A country that was founded on the idea that not everybody found a place to live around the world, and there needs to be one space that we can open up the gates and say, if you are looking for home, you have found it. Another country was so inspired by that work that they sent a large statue to overlook the bay upon which thousands and millions of people found their home in that country. But in order to pay for that particular construction, it was a major undertaking. They held a contest. It was a poetry contest, and a number of different authors entered this contest, including Mark Twain, by the way. But it wasn't until one young poet, someone who was learning at the feet of Ralph Waldo Emerson, decided to share her poem that the movement really got going, and it wasn't until after she passed away, and the words that she shared lived on far beyond the work of her hand on that page, that they decided to inscribe these words at the base of that very same statue. The New Colossus by Emma Lazarus. Not like the brazen giant of Greek fame with conquering limbs, astride from land to land, here at our sea-washed sunset gates shall stand a mighty woman with a torch, whose flame is the imprisoned lightning and her name mother of exiles. From her beacon hand glows worldwide welcome. Her mild eyes command the air-bridged harbor that twin cities frame. Keep, ancient lands, your storied pomp, cries she with silent lips. Give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to breathe free. The wretched refuse of your teeming shore, send these, the homeless, tempest-tossed, to me. I lift my lamp beside the golden door. We continue, page 42.
Let there be love and understanding among Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Hashkiveinu, Adonai Eloheinu. Hashkiveinu, Leshalom. V'ha'amideinu, Shomreinu lechaim. Ufros aleinu, Sukkot shlomecha. Hashkiveinu, Adonai Eloheinu. Hashkiveinu, Leshalom. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms.
Page 46. Please rise in body or in spirit.
Yai lai lai, yai lai lai lai, yai lai 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 lai, yai lai lai, yai lai lai lai, yai lai 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 lai. Adonai, Svatai tiftach. Ufi agitehilatecha, Adonai, Svatai tiftach. Ufi agitehilatecha, Adonai, Svatai tiftach. Ufi agitehilatecha. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei Avotenu ve'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, v'Elohei Leah. Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor ve'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, Ve'konei Hakol, Ve'zocher Chaste Avot ve'imahot, Umevi Geula Livnei v'neihem, Lema'an Shemo be'ahava, Melech Ozer u'Moshia u'Magen. Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham ve'Ezrat Sarah. Atah gibor leolam Adonai, Mechaye hakol atah, Rav lehoshia, Mashiv haruach u'morid hagashem, Mechalkel chayim bechesed, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות ומידו מלך, מלך ממיר ומחיה ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמנת להחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
We continue silently, either using the words on the pages to follow or other words we might find in our hearts. We'll join together again on page 62.
יהיו לרצון עם רפי, והגיון ליבי לפניך. אדוני צורי, אדוני וגואלי, וגואלי. So we're going to sing a song right now. It's called Tzedek, Tzedek Tirdof. Justice, justice we shall pursue, which I thought was a really good song for tonight's theme. And the music is written by Sue Horwitz. It's all in English except for Tzedek, Tzedek, Tirdof. So everybody say Tzedek, Tzedek, Tirdof. Tzedek, Tzedek, Tirdof. That chorus is going to come up over and over again. Please sing it loud and sing it strong. The rest of it is all in English, and it uses text. She used text from Abraham Joshua Heschel, Leviticus 19:16, Pirkei Avot, Genesis, Martin Luther King, and some more Leviticus, all thrown in to this wonderful song about justice. Tzedek, Tzedek, Tzedek Tirdof. Tzedek, Tzedek, Tzedek Tirdof. You got to sing with me. Tzedek, Tzedek, Tzedek Tirdof. Tzedek, Tzedek, Tzedek Tirdof. We rise for inequality. We are marching in the street. We rise for human dignity. We are praying with our feet. Tzedek, Tzedek, tzedek tirdo. Tzedek, tzedek, tzedek tirdo. Tzedek, tzedek, tzedek tirdo. Tzedek, tzedek, tzedek tirdo. We rise for those without a voice. We pledge to be an ally. We rise for those without a choice. We will not stand idly by. Tzedek, tzedek, tzedek tirdo. Tzedek, tzedek, tzedek tirdo. Tzedek, tzedek, tzedek tirdo. Tzedek, tzedek, tzedek tirdo. We all have a part, you and me. Can't do it all alone, we need community. And no one is free until we all are free. We are created, B'Tselem Elohim. We rise to meet the stranger, we make a freedom call. We rise together, justice, justice for us all. Tzedek, tzedek, tzedek tirdo. Tzedek, tzedek, tzedek tirdo. Tzedek, tzedek, tzedek tirdo. Tzedek, tzedek, tzedek tirdo.
We know that healing takes many different forms. And just as we call for a national and international healing, so too do we know that this is a place that we come to for personal healing as well. And so tonight, I want to invite those who are joining us online to share the names of those that you're thinking of this particular Shabbat who are in need of healing. I invite you to share their name aloud so that we can share their names with everyone here in our sanctuary. And for those of us who are here, I want to invite us to take a look at our pamphlet, our handout. Now, I know that there are two. There's a white one that we'll get to a little bit later, but the one that's a kind of a beige color, you'll find inside a list of names, a Misha Berach list, a list of people who are in our community who are in need of healing, and we're deliberate and putting their names in the handout so that we can take this home. If there's someone that you haven't talked to in a while or you haven't seen in a little bit, I invite you to reach out to them, to send a text, a phone call. It really does make a big difference. This is a part of the healing that we call for in this prayer, in addition to calling out for the strength to being able to support those who are in need. This Shabbat, we call to mind especially those who have recently joined our list. And so our hearts are with Joel Epstein and Chuck Leff, Robin Schaefer, Lauren Brownstein, Shelley Fuchs-Darman, Joanne Lamb, Stephen Siegel, and Shoshana Stotland. And if you're here in our sanctuary and are thinking of someone in particular this Shabbat, I want to invite you to share their name out loud so that we can all hold that person in our hearts as well.
Lisa Gifford.
Elizabeth Benson.
Tara Osborne. Aya Gruen and Donna Critchlow. Joyce Thompson and Janet Richmond.
Ar- Arlene Lapel.
We add to these names Nadine Picar and Ron Picar, Mike Hoffey and Olivia Escoboza, Linda Lord and Claire Steinberger, Michelle Dunn, and Arlene Lapel. We have words that come to us from our sacred text, from the book of Exodus, actually from later in our Torah, where Moses turns to God and asks quite simply for healing. Ana Elna, God, we simply ask for healing. We'll offer these words together.
Ana elna refanala. 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 Ana elna refanala.
Well, each and every one of us are moved and changed by those who have come before us. And so our thoughts now turn to those in our community who have died in recent days or in this season in years past. Together, our hearts go out to those in our community who have lost someone in recent days. And so as we remember Frida Ferris, our hearts go out to Dan Ferris and Joanne. As we remember Jamie, Megan Hyde, our hearts go out to Audrey, to Charles and Joan, Lindsay and Jared. And as we remember Burnett Rudolph, our hearts go out to Marshall Wertheimer. And as we remember Paul Kitzner, our hearts go out to Joel and Rana. And as we remember Jacob Epstein, our hearts go out to Howard and Nancy and Nina. Additionally, the Shabbat marks the yahrzeit, the anniversary of the death of Rose Antigonus, Leo Abiram, Leo Barth, Laura Beers, Bernard Bernstein, Jenny Blumberg, Esther Bosakowicz, Joanna Brady, Allegra Brooks, Robert Burney, Stan Butler, Raymond Carl, Vera Klein, Abraham Dorfman, Norman Dorr, Carla Phil, Joseph Finley, Tobe Gaster, Helen Geller, Harold Golden, Soreen Green, Rita Haddow, Ben Jones, Edith Jones, David Lensner, Edward Levy, Leona Long, Bertha Lowenthal, Daniel Luboff, Marvin Merrick, Estelle Meyerson, and Barnett Minden, Doris Noble, Henry Orenstein, Leah Perry, Eleanor Prell, Myron Raftenberg, Alan Richmond, Ann Roth, Robert Selesky, Robin Schwartz, Maxwell Singer, Norma Slavitt, Max Sogolo, Ramala Temkin, Aaron Tillman, Gary Turner, Herbert Erling, and Phyllis Wolf. If you are joining us online, I'd like to invite you to share the names of those that you are thinking of in the chat at this time. And for those of us who are here in our sanctuary, if you'd like to share the names of those that you're thinking of this particular Shabbat, I'd like to invite you to share them with the whole community. I'd like to invite us to hold as well those who are joining us online and their losses. So we also think of Francis Fromm, Carol Owens, and Rudy Lagarda. I'd invite us to join together on the words on page 294 of our prayer books, and as well to rise together and as one in love and in solidarity. Let's offer these words of mourning. Yitgadal, Yitkadash Shemei Rabbah, Ve'alma divrach hirutei ve'amlich malchutei, v'chayechon v'yomechon u'v'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael, Ba'agala v'izman kari v'imru, Amen. Yehei Shmei Rabba mevarach le'olam omel maya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal Shmei dekudesha barichu, le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbachata v'nechamata, damiran v'alma v'imru, Amen. Yehei Shlama Rabba min Shemaya, v'chaim alinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'imru, Amen. Osei shalom b'mramav, hu ya'aseh shalom, alinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'al kol yoshvei tevel, v'imru, Amen. Zichronam libracha, may the memories of those near to us always be a source of blessing. I invite us together to say, Amen. Please be seated. We have a lot of different things that are going on this week at Temple Israel, and so I'd like to invite, also wearing many kippot this particular Shabbat, Sherry Sanaga to share some words with us this evening.
Okay. Shabbat Shalom. So firstly, I don't know about you guys, but this week was a lot for me. And when I came this evening, I was like, oof, inside I was like carrying the weight of the world. And then Cantor started singing, and I could hear David, and Rabbi started playing, and I was like, oh yeah, and I started playing. And I could just feel it all melt away. So I hope that the service today brought you to a place of letting it go, and that rest really is rest. We'd also like to welcome our guest tonight, and thank you so much for coming to tell your story, both from Ukraine and from Afghanistan. I myself am a first-generation immigrant. I know there are people here who are first-generation immigrants or who have families who have been first-generation immigrants. So we welcome you and welcome home. Tomorrow morning at 8:45, we have our weekly Torah study led by Rabbi Scott. Now, Rabbi Scott always takes us somewhere. I'm not quite sure where he's taking us this week. There's a lot, right? So there was a joke I put on Facebook about someone made a golden calf as in the back of their leg. Miscommunication. I don't know if it's about a golden calf, but come do find out. 8:45, we have a very enthusiastic class. We have breakfast now. Come in early, have a good time, and fill your soul. On Thursday, on March 16th at 7 p.m., we have a very interesting class entitled Modern. I love this next word, messy and meaningful. Messy and meaningful, looking back, 100 years of Reform Judaism in America, and in order to look forward, we need to look back. So come join Jared Golden. He's got such a scholarly mind. He has such a wealth of knowledge, not only about Reform Judaism, but about the temple here and the history here. So this coming Thursday, 7 p.m. We have many classes and programs. I know it's not on here, but there is a special camp coming up on April the 1st, family camp. So if you haven't registered, come register, come join. Be part of the community, bring the kids, have a good time, nature, hiking, food, and just be part together of the community. If you have any questions or want to attend any of our classes, please check out our website or call the office. We welcome each and every one of you. You are part of who we are. Thank you so much. Shabbat Shalom.
Well, we are going to conclude our service tonight, but don't go anywhere because we have the opportunity to learn together as well. But we're gonna end our service with a bit of a vision. This particular song was written by a group that is made up of both Palestinians and Israelis, saying, "O Javo, if only we could have a vision of a world at peace, a vision that might draw from the feeling we get on Shabbat, a world that is simply at rest. Maybe then we could start working towards it." Part of that is learning, and part of that singing. So let's sing together. Shalom Aleichem, Shalom Aleichem.
Shalom Aleinu, O Javo Shalom Aleinu, O Javo Shalom Aleinu, ve'al kulam. O Javo Shalom Aleinu, O Javo Shalom Aleinu, O Javo Shalom Aleinu, ve'al kulam. Salam Aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam, salam, salam. O Javo Shalom Aleinu, O Javo Shalom Aleinu, O Javo Shalom Aleinu, ve'al kulam. O Javo Shalom Aleinu, O Javo Shalom Aleinu, O Javo Shalom Aleinu, ve'al kulam.
A special thank you to David Jacobson, Sherry Sanaga for playing such beautiful music. Thank you to Paul for setting up the sound. Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat
Shalom.
We will get started with our next program in just a few minutes. So this is where I get to say, schmooze, talk amongst yourselves, and we'll join together in just a minute.
Yeah, you should join us. Could you do me a favor? After Shabbat, you email me, centralcooper@TILD.org, with your email, and I'm going to send it to David York, who's our musical director, and he will add you to the email list so you can join our high holiday party. Sound good? Okay, awesome. That's awesome. Thank you. Thank you. The more the merrier.
1, 2. Green, green.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. So for anyone who can hear us out here, and the people in the sanctuary are probably very puzzled that there's a voice that's disembodied. We are going to do a very brief Kiddush and Motzi. And for those of us who have already dug in, awesome, that's great. That's the best time to do Hamotzi is with after you've taken that first bite. Many a time. Hey, I'm there. So let's offer our blessing together. For anyone who would like, please feel free to grab a cup. This is HaNeshema or juice, and let's bring some sweetness together. Oh, thank you very much. This is white wine. Okay, so they're both. Oh. Oh, okay.
No, I'm kidding.
Oh. Sorry. Yeah.
Seriously, don't listen to me. But I can't get this stuff down. It's
But
so
yeah,
sweet. So this is white wine.
I'm saying. Okay, right. So I always give it to Cantor Cooper. So this is wine and this is juice. These are the things that you learn after your bat mitzvah. Yeah. Okay. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen l'chaim. And we have a tradition at Temple Israel to be connected to one another, just as the braids of the challah symbolize the beauty of the connectedness of community. And so I want to invite all of us to either reach out and hold the hand of someone near to you or place a hand on a shoulder. Let's be connected to one another. And if you are connected to someone who is connected to someone who's connected to someone who's connected to someone who's connected to the challah, then we are all blessing this challah all together. Miles, come over here. Oh, okay. All right, come on over. Hamotzi. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Emin haaretz v'te'avon. Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
If everyone can please join us back in the sanctuary. If everyone can please return to the sanctuary, please. Can you hear that up there? Could you hear it? If everybody could please return to the sanctuary for our next piece of the evening. Can you hear it out? Can you hear it out there when I'm talking? If everyone could please return to the sanctuary. It's about the refugees. Can you hear me out here? Hello? Oh, you can't hear it out here. Let's get started. Sorry, I'm sorry. How are you?
Good. Sorry I couldn't come to the 6 o'clock prayer thing.
Oh, that's okay.
I'm sorry. I really wanted to come and
Next time.
Next time.
You can say waterfall, waterfall.
There you go. Thank you. Thank you so much. This one's on. Do you want me to turn them off?
And then how do you turn them back on?
Well, you gotta.
All right, so let me just hold it.
Okay.
Okay, I'm going to do this one, and it's on.
Well, Shabbat Shalom, everyone. I'm really glad to get to be together tonight. You know, we have Shabbat as this opportunity to stop and reflect, and there are two parts of that reflection. One is rest, but there is also the idea of Shabbat being an opportunity to, I heard the term recently, activate ourselves. Make ourselves a little bit uncomfortable at the very least, to have the opportunity to learn and understand how to act differently as we make our way into this coming week. And we're going to have the opportunity to learn this particular Shabbat. We have a real treat. We have members of our near and extended community here to teach us about what is happening in the world around us and how members of the world community are in need of finding home and how they have found home as well. I'm going to invite us to jump right in. I'm not going to speak that much, but I do want to introduce our very first speaker. We actually had the pleasure of hearing from Joe, was it about a year ago? For our Refugee Shabbat last year, and he spoke beautifully. We wanted to make sure to invite him to share with us again. A little bit about Joe, and I'll invite in our handouts is information about our two speakers. So we have Joe Goldman and Trip Oldfield as well. Joe comes to us from HaNeshema and is the Community Engagement Director for the Western region of HaNeshema. We are really lucky to have him speak with us together this evening, and so I want to invite all of us to offer a warm welcome to Joe as he shares this evening.
Thank you so much, Rabbi. Wait for Paul. Oh, yes. Now, here we go. Thank you. Shabbat Shalom. Thank you, Rabbi. Thank you, Paul. It's great to be back here, almost pretty much like a year to the day, I think, from last Refugee Shabbat. And you know, what's amazing is that although Refugee Shabbat started last month, we're in Refugee Shabbat season, and it pretty much runs until Passover. I have more Refugee Shabbats after this, but know that you're part of something that's really big. This is the 5th annual Refugee Shabbat, and it's being observed by over 450 organizations and congregations across 5 continents. So you're doing something that is not just happening here in Long Beach, but literally around the world. And so a little bit, just again, a little refresher on HaNeshema. We were established as the Hebrew Immigrant Aid Society in the late 1880s out of existential necessity to help our people reach safety, shelter, and self-sufficiency out of harm's way as Jews fled Eastern Europe. And HaNeshema is now a Jewish agency that proudly serves refugees, asylum seekers, and forcibly displaced people of all backgrounds in over 22 countries across 5 continents. And in fact, you heard the poem from Emma Lazarus. She was a full-time volunteer with HaNeshema when she wrote that poem. And now with over 100 million refugees worldwide, that's more than after World War II, our work has never been more necessary. Too often in the Jewish community, we come up against a false binary that we must choose between the particular and the universal, that fighting for Jewish values that may benefit non-Jews is somehow contradictory to fighting for Jews ourselves. I've been in rooms, many rooms, where major Jewish community leaders have flat out said, if it's not helping other Jews, it's not Jewish, period. Never mind the values, which we actually sang 2 of them tonight, B'Tselem Elohim, that we're all made in the same image, and Tzedek Tzedek Tiyogdov, justice, justice, you shall pursue, and of course, Tikkun Olam, to repair the world. These values are to pull from Hatikva, the Israeli national anthem, at the Nefesh Yehudi, at the soul of the Jew. In fact, the Global Refugee Resettlement Program was established under the 1951 UN Geneva Convention in direct response to what happened to Jews after the Shoah, after witnessing the consequences of denying Jews a safe and legal means to seek refuge elsewhere. The international community came together to make sure that it never happens again. Both America and Israel are signatories of this treaty, and despite the fact that both governments, like so many others, often fail to uphold their own agreements, it's a historic matter of Jewish safety and prosperity nonetheless. Think about it. The UN, an institution with a very complicated history in the Jewish world, actually set forth the entire resettlement system in a treaty written by religious Jews who had survived the Holocaust, allowing millions of Jews to safely seek refuge in America, Israel, and many other countries in the years following 1951. It's truly remarkable. California Jewish life would be unrecognizable if not for refugee policy. Think of the hundreds of thousands of Holocaust survivors, Jews from the former Soviet Union, and people from Iran, Israelis, many of whom were former refugees themselves, or their parents or grandparents were before they came to America as immigrants, who all make California home. Think of the countless contributions to our communal vitality, economy, culture, and politics from Jewish and non-Jewish refugees alike that benefit all of us. Long Beach is no stranger to welcoming refugees. After Kabul fell in August 2021, NCJW formed a Highest Welcome Circle to support Afghan refugees. Highest Welcome Circles are volunteer-led mini agencies led by groups of people who empower our newcomers with finding housing, schools, vocational training, access to medical care, and all of the things that go into building new lives. Another group of many members of this synagogue and with some support from JFCS Long Beach have also formed a Highest Welcome Circle to support folks from Ukraine. And I'm really, really excited for all of you to get to meet and hear directly from them in just a few minutes. The Highest Welcome Circle model of private sponsorship launched because at that time in 2021, the Biden administration was still several weeks away from releasing the first congressionally approved funds to start rebuilding the refugee resettlement system that was gutted by Biden's predecessor. Remember, we welcomed a bipartisan average of 95,000 refugees each year before 2016. By 2020, that number plummeted to 11,000. Under Biden, welcome circles are now a permanent feature of our system, but they are not scalable or as scalable as agency resettlement. But guess what? You get to help rebuild the system right here in Long Beach. That's why I am over the moon to share that JFCS Long Beach has applied to the State Department to become a highest resettlement partner beginning on October 1st of this year. We currently have 23 highest resettlement partners, which are local Jewish and secular social service agencies working on the ground in communities across the country to help refugees arrive at the airport and so on. And resettlement partners are there to provide the support that they need to build the strong foundations for their new lives, from food to affordable housing to English classes and employment services over a 90-day period. Instead of opening a new office in each community that Highest hopes to resettle in, we have a highly successful subcontractor model in which our resettlement partners resettle refugee clients assigned to Highest by the State Department. And in turn, Highest handles huge swaths of bureaucracy with our federal government, as well as being the boots on the ground and to lobby on behalf of our agencies in Washington and also provide training and best practices and so on. You also get to hear a lot more from me. And pending approval from the State Department, which so far has very strongly indicated that it wants to see Highest work with a local agency here in LA and in Orange counties to bring institutional resettlement back to this region for the first time in 5 long years for LA County and the first time ever in Orange County. JFCS Long Beach will be resettling, hopefully, inshallah, by the dozens in the next coming federal fiscal year. The State Department provides meager support for this public-private partnership that defines refugee resettlement. A refugee family of 3 receives $1,600 a month for 3 months. That's it. That barely covers food, let alone rent, utilities, medicine, furniture, school supplies, and so on. JFCS must rely on generous donations from our community to help these vulnerable families with other expenses and week-to-week support on their path to self-sufficiency. You might find it strange for someone from one agency asking to fundraise for another, but here's the reality. Highest wants to bring more refugee resettlement back to Southern California. So as JFCS starts this new chapter, I invite all of you to join this effort to build out the refugee program. And this fundraising effort doesn't have to be just among the Long Beach Jewish community, but can span the entire region, whether it's your contacts set by me in LA, or friends as far south as San Clemente, or pretty much anywhere willing to support this work can make a huge difference. And also not compete with the fundraising you do for this synagogue and other programs in the community. You're also invited to join HIAS, JFCS, and our 3 other HIAS resettlement partners, JFCS East Bay, JFS Silicon Valley, and JFS San Diego, alongside over 30 other major Jewish community agencies across the state, and Jewish Long Beach included, in Sacramento for the JPAC Capital Summit May 9th and 10th to lobby our lawmakers to support SB 85, which would provide state funding to expand case management in California by an additional 90 days. SB 85 would ensure stronger financial vitality for JFCS Long Beach as it launches this refugee program, so there is a direct local impact when you go and lobby in Sacramento. Remember how earlier I said that I've been in rooms where major Jewish community leaders flat out said it's not helping, if it's helping non-Jews, it's not Jewish, period? Well, by helping JFCS Long Beach build out this program, all of you are busting through that false binary and living up to the proven history that the policies that have allowed us as a community to thrive, and saying that welcoming the stranger is exactly who we are as Jews. And so with that, I would love to invite, if I may, Tripp Oldfield, the CEO of JFCS Long Beach.
Thank you, Joe. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. JFCS is celebrating its 65th year in Long Beach and West Orange County, providing mental health support for children in school, food for single moms with kids, and a friendly voice, and home care for our Holocaust survivors. We ensure that the most vulnerable people in our community have something to eat, someone to talk to, and the heater stays on in these cold winter months. And as I stand here in this beautiful house of worship, I'm reminded that our Jewish values compel us to welcome the stranger. The commandment to welcome and embrace the stranger appears 36 times in the Torah. I hope I'm not going into your lane, Rabbi Fox, sorry for that. Suffice it to say, it is a crucial element in fact, one of our biggest traditions to assist immigrants, one that should guide and permeate our actions, our everyday actions. Southern California has long been a bastion for human rights and a safe haven and a safe harbor for refugees. Think about this, the Holocaust survivors that came in the 40s and the 50s. In the 1970s, the Vietnamese. In the 1980s, we saw a huge influx of Cambodian refugees, which now make up the largest Cambodian community in the United States. Last decade, the Iraqis and the Syrians, and now this decade, the Afghans and the Ukrainians. JFCS has used to have a very robust refugee program in the 80s and the 90s, primarily resettling Jews from what was the Soviet Union. And now, 25 years later, we are compelled again to welcome the stranger. So you ask, what is a refugee resettlement program? And what do we do? And Joe talked a little bit about this, but it's doing the paperwork before they come to the United States. It's picking them up at the airport. It's getting them into an Airbnb until we can find them an apartment, making sure they have food and clothing and diapers, and and the kids have backpacks, and we enroll the kids in school, and I could go on and on. But it's really about making sure that they get the most support that they could possibly get in the first 3 to 4 months. And resettling a refugee can be 6 to 12 commitments. And how many know that? Because they're part of a welcome circle. Thank you. It is a commitment. It is absolutely a commitment. It requires the coordinated action and compassion of everyday people like Joe and Hayes from his team, people on my staff, and many of you in this room that have so graciously volunteered to take a refugee into your home or to be part of a Hayes welcome circle. and our goal is to, as Joe spoke about, our goal is to open a refugee office with new staff this September, and eventually resettle something like probably 80 refugee families when we're at full capacity, which might take a year or so. That's a lot. But we need a kahila, we need a community. And if Hillary Clinton was Jewish, she would say, it takes a kahila. It takes a kahila, right? So you can help our refugees by being an English tutor, delivering diapers, helping collect and distribute donated furniture and clothes, enroll kids in school, help dads stand in line at the DMV. I know you like doing that. Help mom with a resume. You can also donate to the JFCS Refugee Fund. You can go to our website and look for refugee resettlement, and you'll see several ways to give, including some of the families that are behind me. That pays for food and security deposits and prescriptions for the refugee families in our local area. If you'd like to be part of the project and you want to learn more, please save the date. So JFCS is having a refugee open house at the Alpert JCC on Sunday, June 11th at 2 p.m. You can get more information on our website about that and let us know you're coming. Or you can talk to Jen. Say hi. Jen, our Director of Development, can give you more information as well. She's the one who's putting that open house together. Or, let's see, what did I say? Yeah, so we really want you to be part of our kahila and move with us as we resettle probably 80 refugee families this year and next. So thank you.
The rabbi just told me to go ahead, so I'm following his orders. So it's an honor to be here tonight and to see the wealth of women in the audience that have helped these ladies get here. In March of 2022, 3 lovely ladies walked into the lobby at LAX to be greeted by their new Welcome Circle family. We have worked together to help them become independent, working women in our Long Beach community. 5 of us, as NCJW members, have contributed hours and hours and hours and hours of our time in a journey that none of us will ever forget. May I please introduce to you Naomi Seinfeld, Michelle Summit, Cynthia Gordon, and Natalie Swit, who is sick and at home on Zoom. Additionally, I'd like to ask all the NCJW members who are in our audience tonight to stand and be recognized because they have played a substantial role in getting us to where we are. This has been a journey, and it's a journey that I am going to let Rima and Massima share with you. Hamida could not be here tonight because she has an ear infection and a cold and had planned on speaking with you as well. The 3 of them arrived together. We have housed them together, but the 3 of them are now, all 3, living independently, working, and are successfully in our community. So we're going to start with Rima. Please share with us what the 3 of you were doing prior to coming to the United States and your journey from Albania to Long Beach.
First of all, I'm very glad and happy to be here and see you all and meet you all. That is my big pleasure that I know these kind of people. Our journey from Afghanistan to Albania and then from Albania to USA, so it is not easy for me because we are living, we are kind of girls that we always live with our family members, like parents, our brother, sister, and our parents is always support us. And I have been never see in my dream that I will be here along and be independent. Yeah, when I took my decision to left my country and to went to USA, but in the airport we know that we are not going to USA, we are going to the Albania. And Albania is a country that I have been never heard this country name. And I was just in the airport, I search and I see where's the Albania in the map. And on that time I know that it's close to the Germany and the people is, what is the culture. And so after 2 days in the airport, finally we get to in Albania, and Albania is a nice country. The people are so kind, but for us, we just stay in a hotel and just eating, sleeping. So this was like make us put us in depression. So it is hard to do nothing and just stay in a room or go outside. But the Michigan University finally took the decisions to start our study in Albania, and I'm very happy that we start this our education there because this helped us a lot. Because before our education, we always think about our family members, our parents and our brother and sister. So this was hard for us. But when we are busy with our education, so life is easy for us. And after 7 months, they told us that now you will be evacuated to USA. And during this time, especially I and my other classmate, we heard different things, like people told us that you are the single girls, so maybe they will give you to the family, and maybe they will not respect to your culture, and maybe they will not accept you with the scarf. So these are the things that make us so depressed and worry. And I always think that, what should I do when I get there in the USA? But in 18th of April, when we arrived to the Long Beach airport, I think it is Los Angeles airport, so we saw 3 beautiful ladies that take our names and stand to the airport, and then we know that these females or ladies will help us. And that was the first time. Even it is hard for me to pronounce the name of these ladies because I'm not good in name, especially in pronunciation. So on that time, I was like, but again, I worry again, like maybe the ladies will be totally different from me, and what is the culture of these peoples, and how I know them, how I know these are good or not. So, but by the passing of time, I know that these 5 ladies that support us, and especially the beside of this, the volunteers, they are the most kindest people in the world, and they like help us as our own family members. And oh, sorry for that.
It's okay, you're making me cry too.
Yeah. So, and after that, I think we spent 2 weeks in the other female Janet house, and on that time, I tell my friend Masuma that I can't live with the other people because they are different, and maybe if we do something wrong, or maybe in cooking, we burn something, maybe they will become angry, so we needed to find a house or apartment for ourselves. But after 2 weeks, we find our place, and we 3 ladies live together. During this time, like, we try a lot to, because we can't drive, we don't have license, we don't have a job. So then we started looking for a job, and the 5 NCGW ladies like help us to find a job and showing how to use the buses, like for transport. So this journey is fantastic for me, and and make me like strong girls, and make me independent, and I really thank you, and I'm happy to have you all in my life.
Like I said, it's been a journey, and we all feel our hearts are breaking as we share the love that has happened in the past year. Masuma, once you arrived in Los Angeles, and by the way, when she arrived in Los Angeles, she hardly spoke a word of English. Listen to her now as she tells you about how she learned English, got a job, a very good job, and settled into her new home.
Shabbat Salam. Shabbat Shalom. Good evening, everyone. I am Masuma. I am from Afghanistan. And we came in, as Nirima told, we came in Albania first. After that, we came in USA, and we was like 1 or more than 1 week with another woman by the name of Janet. And after that, the ladies found for us Airbnb, and we was 1 month there. And after that, we settled for another home, like for 9 months. And I started first learning English on adult school by helping the ladies, and especially the girl helped me to, I went to the course and how I registered, how I passed the exam. And before that, I was not able to speak any English. I just know the writing, and but I was not able to speak because I never speak English. And just when I started my master in English, my bachelor in English, but I didn't have any conversation in English. But after that, I started another class online in Long Beach City College. It is continued to now, and I am studying. I studied a lot of things, and I can speak now English. And by helping the nice ladies, I found a job. It is a part-time job in the bank in LA. It is an international bank. I am working because my background was in Afghanistan, 10 years in banking. And now I am working as a loan servicing associate and in credit department. I am so happy for that job. It is so good job, and I learn a lot of things. And there is a lot of refugee that work, and they are helpful for me, and they encourage me. They help me to how I learn the new system here, and how I help the customer, a lot of things. And it is good. I'm really thankful from the ladies. They was every day with us and help us for a lot of things, and we learn here. Thank you so much.
We had several more questions, but we're going to ask just one more because of time, okay? So I want you each to explain what you are most proud of or what you have accomplished while you have been here in the United States. What would you say has brought you the most joy or that you feel the best about, okay?
For me, the greatest and happy things that I have in CGW and you all as my part of my family members. Honestly, sometimes I see my parents or my family members in the face of these ladies. Yeah, the other things that make me happy in these days especially, it is my small apartment and being independent. And the second thing is that I help myself here now along according to financials, and especially my family. Like there are 7 people, like 2 brothers, 3 sisters, and my mom and dad. I help them like each month I send them money. And this is make me so happy that I can live alone. I'm independent and I have a job. I know for some of the people like a store job is not good, but for me it is fantastic because it is my first time like working in a store and clothing like this, and day by day I like promotions. Like maybe one day, as Gail told me that maybe you will become a manager. But I hope, but yeah, these 3 things. You have all in my life, and see you all good peoples and meet with all good peoples. I wish and I hope that I will never meet with the bad peoples because and the other things, being independent. This make me more happy and grateful.
For me, is a lot of thing to, it is based for me, like I learn English and I can speak with people, and I meet a lot of friends, and the beautiful ladies are like our family and help us, and we we always hoping to they are be with us, and it is good. And I am happy to I have my dream job because I love accounting. It is so good for me. Thank you so much. And also I success to brought my husband here. When I came here alone, and yeah, Ruhullah, yeah, and it is my big pleasure to my husband is here. He is my family, my best friend, and thank you for him, and thank you for all of you and for ladies.
I'm Kate Sacknoff, and I have been, can you hear me? Oh, now? Okay. My name is Kate Sacknoff, for those of you who don't know me. And, I have been very fortunate to be embraced into a highest welcome circle that was already formed. And some of the members are here. I want to point out Mike Tucker and Nancy Press. And another really important member of our welcome circle is Jana Bulkina, yes? And so I just dove in without knowing what I was getting myself into, and I just said, I'm in. And then I told my husband, I don't know what I just signed up for. And, and then I called my friends at NCJW, and they said, oh, it's a journey. So it has been a fantastic journey. I have never done anything like this before. I've always been a supporter of, not always, but for a long time, an enthusiastic supporter of HaNeshema at the policy level and financially, but I haven't committed to other human beings, individuals in my life, for my whole life, right? So this is really wonderful. And believe it or not, Jana lives less than 1 block from me, okay? For 10 years, we have lived 1 block apart and we didn't discover each other. So now she has brought me Anastasia and Oksana into my life also. So we're all working as a team, and it is wonderful. What else did I want to mention? I want you to hear first from Jana about how she came here, how her family came here, and how she knew Oksana, and then we will pass over to Oksana. And really important to note, they have only been here 1 month, okay? So the English level is different, the comfort level is different. You know, Anastasia just started school at Rogers Middle School on Wednesday, okay? So it's all really, really new. Okay, welcome.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. My name is Jana Bulkina. I'm from Kiev, Ukraine, and I moved here 20 years ago. And so my family also moved here 35 years ago through help of HaNeshema. They were Eastern European Jewish refugees. And when I talked to my friends about bringing Oksana and Anastasia, they suggested that we form a welcome circle. And I knew that my family came here through HaNeshema, so that was a really interesting coincidence for me, and I was excited to do it. Oksana and I, actually, we were 17 years old when we went to law school together in Kiev, Ukraine, and we became very close friends. And after I moved, we stayed in touch. We were on the phone very often. And as a matter of fact, we were on the phone when Oksana heard the explosions. And she didn't know what happened, so she said that I can hear explosions. I need to find out what happened, and the war has started, unfortunately. So I have a family in Ukraine, a big family. So I was following the news, and I was waiting for the United States to come up with some sort of program that would let refugees come here, so I could bring either my family who wanted to come or friends. And finally, US came up with a Uniting for Ukraine program. It was actually a very simple process. If anyone has gone through immigration in the US, it's a really, really complex system. It takes a very long time, requires a lot of documents and so on and so forth. Surprisingly, Uniting for Ukraine was very simple, everything online. It was very easy, and I submitted the documents, and the next day I had an approval for Oksana and Anastasia to come to the United States. So that. I started, as I applied, I started thinking what I'm going to need, and the more I thought about it, the more I could come up with things that are needed. We needed housing, we needed time, we needed school, find out about school, so many different things. And I'm so fortunate that we were able to form the Welcome Circle, and Hayas introduced me to the incredible people who live in Long Beach, Mike, Nancy, Kate, Shelley. It's been an incredible experience and so much help. I know I could have never done it all myself because it is a lot of hours. It is a lot of work that needs to be put into this. And it's a very gratifying experience to help someone, but also it's been incredible for me to meet my neighbors who live nearby, and I'm sure we are going to stay friends for many years to come. And thank you very much, and I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to answer any questions. If anyone is thinking about doing something like that, I can help and tell you about my my experience. Thank you.
Good evening, my name is Oksana, and this is my daughter Anastasia. We came here from Kiev. We came here from Kiev, Ukraine, a month ago. I would like to tell you what happened to me and my country on the night of February 24 of last year. This was the most horrific morning I have ever experienced. My country woke up to loud implosions that were happening all over the territory. I understood that a war has started, but my heart was saying that this is impossible in the 21st century, but that happened. During this year, my country has changed. The war made me realize that in life not everything is permanent. All of the plans that I have had for myself were in the past. Today I know that some of the people from my circle I have seen for the last time. These people are gone. There was someone's son's husband, parents and children. The war has taught me that you cannot take for granted your family and your friends. Gathering around the table, he valued and treasured. Before the war, I thought this be a normal part of that happiness to almost everyone, but I was mistaken. The war can do terrible things to what you treasure the most and separate you from your loved ones. Because of the war, I also realized the importance of a hard tea, hard food, and all other things that make your everyday my life comfortable. You can still survive without those things, but it's hard. Before the war, I thought that my life was fairly sad. I had a house that I loved, a loving family, and a close circle of friends. My family is not big, but we are very close. It consists of my father, his wife, and my daughter. And of course, not to forget our favorite family member, our cat Ksyusha, who we dearly miss. I also had a job that I enjoyed. I worked as an attorney for the local administration representing the rights of neighbors. All this was despite by war. Outside of work, I enjoyed skiing, traveling, reading, exercising. My daughter Anastasia enjoyed arts, cooking, crochet, knitting, and spending time with her friends. When my friend Jana offered me to come to the United States, I asked my father for advice. He said, Oksana, I am 72 years old and I saw life, and you are 44 and you have seen some of it too. But you have a 14 years old daughter who has not seen it. Think about here. We do everything or almost everything for our children. So here I am. I would like to say thank you to my welcome circle and everyone who's helped us here. I appreciate and value the care and support we received. Realize that the time that they are spending on us could have been spent with her families. These people give me and my daughter everything that we needed and most importantly made us feel welcome and safe. Possibly one thing is missing, that is good knowledge of English so I can easily speak with everyone. However, I am studying and as Mike from my welcome circle is telling me I am not a lost cause. Hopefully soon I would also be able to find a job as I am so used to being useful for the society. When I told my father that I was going to speak at this event, he asked to say that he is so grateful to this country, society, and the welcome circle of taking a good care of his girls. And I am grateful to the United States for a safe sky above my head and the feeling of safety and security that was given to us by this country. This country knows that the most importantly value is human life.
Thank you so much, Oksana. We're so happy to have you here. I know that you may have some questions, and I know that Trip and I don't know if Joe is still here, are available for questions, and Jana can answer questions. So come on, do you want to come up and see if there's any questions for you? Any
If you have any questions now, we have recovered. As you can imagine, it's difficult to hear the stories, but this is part of being here and getting adjusted. We are going to ask that you ask questions if you want to, but we're also going to reserve the right to refuse to answer a question if we don't feel or we know that it's could cause some discomfort, okay? But please ask. They are here because they want to share their stories and they want to be here. And Rima was brave enough to come back out here, so she wants to answer your questions. So if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask us.
Yeah. It's not a question, it's an offer. I am in the process of moving. I will be moving all the way to the East Coast. I have lots of household items if they are still needed.
Thank you so much for the offer. They are resettled. They have everything they need as far as household, but we appreciate the offer. Thank you.
However, one of the groups that works with HaNeshema keeps a storage of items like this for future families that are resettling, and I'm sure they would be very happy to receive some of the things that you are offering.
It's called Orange County Jewish Coalition for Refugees, ocjcr.org, and they have a storehouse in Orange County. Yeah, so you can contact them.
Yes, go ahead. Yes, she said that back in their countries, she believes, correct me if I don't do this right, that she believes that there are certain Jewish myths about people in the United States and maybe Jewish people in the United States, and have any of those myths that they may have been taught been broken. I don't know.
What's your favorite one that has been broken?
Yeah, it's a difficult question for them to answer. I think we're going to go on to something else. It's a good question, yeah. Yes?
When you go to bed at night and when you wake up in the morning, what's the one thing that has really given you courage and strength? And I'm not talking about from other people. I'm talking about what's inside of you that has helped you personally to overcome what you had.
For me, I think at the first time it is not easy, like to encourage myself, but by the passing of the time, especially when I become hopeless or I feeling sad or depressions like that, then the one things that make me so strong and have a hopes is my parents. In my house I have all of the picture of them, and when I wake up and I see them, that on that time I think with myself that at first I should be strong for myself, and the second I should be strong for my family, because in that time they need me a lot. And you know the situation that here nobody work, and even my sister cannot go to for education, so only my family make me hope and make me strong. And if I'm here alone and strong and stand here and working in a different culture and in a different environment without a man or without husband or without friends, this is the one thing that is my family. They always supporting me and encourage me.
Oksana is saying it's a thought that I'm safe here. I don't hear explosions and constant sirens, and Kiev was actually bombed yesterday. So it's just the feeling of safety that they're here and that her daughter is safe with her.
I think we have time for maybe one or two more. Yeah, Bonnie.
What has surprised you the most about Long Beach or the United States? What was the biggest surprise about our culture?
Thank you for your question. And when we was in Afghanistan, always people said in United States is not crime, in United States is not homeless, in United States is not poor people. When we came here, when we saw a lot of homeless people, and we was worried about that, and we searched a little bit why people become homeless. And we scared we are new what is the result to people become homeless, and how we can help ourselves to not become like that. And it is a big challenge for us, and we are always thinking about that, and we now know what is the result to people become like that. And we work hard and very hard to support our family in Afghanistan. And I hope one day I can help the people in the world, the poor people, the people they living in war country, and I help it by these people, and I hope to help another people in the future. I hard work. It is my dream. Always I wake up with that dream every day and think about that. Thank you.
So they've only been here for a month, so they don't have all of those stereotypes broken yet. But Oksana was shocked how big the city is when I was driving them from the airport, and I told her before she came here that it's good to have a car. It's useful here. And she said, "Oh my God, I understand what you meant by you need to have a car here." Another thing that's unusual, that there are no people on the street. That's the first thing that they were asking me, where are all of the people? Where are they? How many cars on the streets, and that they're so big. Anastasia says the school is very different, the system is very different, that they have only 5 classes, and that it's different students in each class, so the system is just different. The ocean, Oksana really loves the ocean, and she says, I feel like it's actually washing away the troubles, so it's very nice to be close. Very importantly, Anastasia is a little angry at me that I forgot. She says people are very nice, very welcoming, and when you walk on the street, it's actually unusual. It was unusual for me when I moved here that people will say hello and smile. They like it a lot.
Well, we want to thank you for...
Wait, I want to take, I'm sorry, one more? Oh, you know what? She left. Yeah. Oh, okay. The one I was thinking of left, but let's try one more. Sorry.
Is there any art or music from your country that you'd like to share, have other people know about? If there's any art or music from their countries that they'd like to share, artists, musicians.
So our country, our religion is Muslim, we Muslims, so a lot of people are not prefer to listen to the music, but we have music. We have a lot of singers, Afghan singers, and there's different kind of music. I think pop music, they have, if you search in Google, Afghan pop singers, we have a lot of music also.
I recommend a singer, if you like, by the name of Ahmad Zahir. Ahmad Zahir. He was a singer. His music is very delight, and you can. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, so Oksana is saying that in the last year, the music industry completely transferred into music in Ukrainian language. Before that, it was a mix of Russian and a lot of actually Russian music, Russian singers. But now it's all a lot of Ukrainian music and Ukrainian very patriotic music. And she personally likes the band that won on Eurovision, and it's called Kalush.
One last thing that I forgot to mention is that in addition to the generosity from temple members, we have seen amazing generosity from the Belmont Heights neighborhood. I mean, dozens of people that I'm talking to who want to donate, who want to help, who want to tutor, who want to drive, who want to help move, who just everything. And it's been so wonderful to meet my neighbors because of people from, across the world almost are bringing me closer to my own neighborhood. So it's really a beautiful thing. Thank you for being here.
So I want to thank everyone for being here, and I think that there is an important piece of this evening also, which is let's be activated. Let's continue to do this work. And Trip, I'm deeply inspired. I didn't realize the number was quite as high of the number of families that we are hoping to open our arms to. And so I encourage all of us to connect with JFCS, to connect with Jennifer and with Trip, and to talk about continuing to do this work. May we let this Shabbat be an opportunity for us to rest and for us to be activated. We have a lot of work to do. Shabbat shalom, everyone.
Shabbat shalom. And I do want to help us up with things, so I'll find out how to do it. Okay?
Yeah, you can sign up for a shift.
I will.
And there's a thing outside before you leave.
Okay, I'll
Got
get
it.
it.